Good evening, this is Two Wolves, and I am reporting from Utah, still reporting from Utah. And it is the evening of 17 February 2014. This is an x-ray of a bald eagle's carcass. The story comes to us by reporter Mike Anderson. And I'll just come up here real quick. I'll also put this at the bottom, www.ksl.com, etc. I'll put that at the bottom of the story. Now you remember the story about the bald eagles. It was carried by E&E News actually picked it up. Many other local and even national media had been covering it. And Kevin Blanche did a good story on the eagles, and I've got some things that I've done earlier. The consensus among most of us is that it's probably a combination of toxic chemicals or more so exposure to Fukushima radiation by migrating animals eagles probably coming down from Alaska, I would say, who'd been exposed to radiation. Well, initially, of course, these deaths were blamed on West Nile. Now they've changed their mind. I'll continue on and I'll do my best to get through it. Grab your tissues. 3 bald eagles died from lead poisoning, Rehabilitation Center says. There's Mike Anderson with KSL. Ogden. First, it was the West Nile virus, and now wildlife volunteers say, no. Bald eagles in northern Utah are being killed by lead poisoning. Lead poisoning. Okay, just an aside, and then I'll try not to editorialize too much. But this is possible. This is something of a sick joke that's being generated by TPTB, because in the West, lead poisoning has always been a really dark acronym or sort of under the cover joke for being shot. Cowboys in the Old West died from lead poisoning. Quote, unquote. The Wildlife Rehabilitation Center of Northern Utah has documented 3 confirmed cases in as many weeks. Volunteers there say hunters can fix the problem with a simple change in ammunition type, but some gun owners disagree with their reasoning. Let me say right here, I'm not anti-gun. I actually really like shotguns. I'm certainly not opposed to subsistence hunting. No problem. This is not about gun owners who are being blamed for the deaths of the eagles. Now pay attention. Gun owners are being blamed for the death of the national symbol. Looking at video of an ill bald eagle, Wildlife Rehabilitation Center volunteer Buzz Marthaler said it's tough to see the nation's official bird suffer. We feel helpless, Marthaler said Monday. We don't have a lot of answers. Well, a lot of good people do volunteer there, and I'm sure that lots of them do feel very badly watching these eagles die. Marthaler and fellow volunteers are confident the bald eagles treated at their facility died as a result of, air quote, lead poisoning, unquote. They came to this conclusion through both x-rays and blood tests. We don't know if what we're doing to them is helpful or if it's better just to end it, Marthaler said. Okay, compare this to the story that I put up on Facebook about the woman tenderly cradling an injured eagle in Minnesota. You just compare and contrast. And pay attention, as I know you will. Not what we're doing for them, right? Oh no, what we're doing to them. One eagle that swallowed a piece of buckshot had to undergo surgery, but it didn't survive long afterward. For 35 years, we've decided it needs to be removed from our paint. Lead needs to be removed from our paint, our gasoline, things like that, to get it out of a human environment, Marthaler said. We have not yet decided if it's necessary to take it, lead, out of our natural environment. What? He's asking hunters to switch to a more green alternative, brass or copper rounds. He's also encouraging voters to write their congressional representatives and ask that lead-free rounds be required by law, following other states like California. If these eagles were shot, by more green alternative ammunition, or if they consumed. Now, eagles do not go around eating ammunition, by the way. Anyway, I don't think that a more green alternative would make a difference. Going onward, we're poisoning those animals, and it's a slow, painful death, Marthaler said. Many hunters, however, disagree. Charles Hardy, Public Policy Director for Gun Owners of Utah, says lead is heavy and soft. Other alternatives, he said, are more expensive and could raise the cost of ammunition by as much as 500%. Look at this. We have more than one agenda, do we not, going on here? He's right. There's simply no other substance that really meets the needs, Hardy said. Hardy also believes tests on eagles that found signs of lead poisoning are not conclusive. I have yet to see an independent scientific study that says we have a problem with lead building up and killing animals, Hardy said. In addition, Hardy says lead in its solid form does not spread and contaminate very easily, and that most hunters make efforts to ensure that rounds are not left in the wild. This is true, and this is also true. I think that what we have are some concerns that are probably well-intentioned but overstated, Hardy said. Thank you very much for listening and following with me through this heart-rending story. I really personally don't think it's lead poisoning, unless they were just plain shot. Very possible. It's Utah. Thank you for listening. This is Two Wolves Out. Montauk Be Awesome. We are all related.